Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us this Friday. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Russ has the night off. Well, tonight, Florida, hoping for the best but bracing for the worst. Late tonight, Hurricane Dorian officially strengthened to a Category 4, putting multiple states on high alert. Forecasters say Dorian is on track to hit Florida late Monday and could be the strongest storm to slam into the state since Andrew in 1992. CBS's Nicole Killian is in Cocoa Beach with the latest.
This plane full of weather instruments flew into the eye of the hurricane Friday for a closer look at what could be in store for Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis warned Dorian is likely to bring power outages and storm surge with flooding that could affect millions of people for days.
You need to take preparations for this storm if you haven't already.
Officials are urging Floridians to stockpile a week's worth of food, water, medicine, and other supplies. Fuel shortages at some gas stations have been reported, and authorities are bringing in more fuel from out of state. Here in Brevard County, emergency officials have issued a mandatory evacuation order telling residents in flood-prone areas to leave the area starting Sunday. As Dorian churned over the Atlantic Ocean Friday, the International Space Station captured these images. While back on Earth, this South Florida resident trimmed trees and vegetation at her home.
So it doesn't become a projectile. I certainly don't want to hurt anybody.
This man secured his boat and belongings in Fort Lauderdale before heading out of town. President Trump will return from Camp David for a meeting at FEMA headquarters Sunday. Before he left, he was asked if he's worried about his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida.
The thing I'm worried about is the state of Florida.
Meanwhile, at the world's second busiest cruise port, ships are now charting a new course to keep passengers safe. Nicole Killian, CBS News, Cocoa Beach, Florida.
Hundreds of flights in and out of Florida are now canceled. Well, last week, Fish, Wildlife and Parks issued a toxic algae warning for Lake Elmo here in Billings. Well, today tests brought back some good news. Blue-green algae was spotted in a small spot in Lake Elmo, and when it blooms, it can give off toxins. But tests show no toxins in Lake Elmo. Caution signs will come down this weekend, and the water is now safe for people and pets to play. The Montana Department of Health and Human Services says the blue-green algae bloom looks like pea soup, grass clippings, or green latex paint. Experts say if you see that somewhere else in the state, stay out of the water. Well, an afternoon rain did not do much to help knock down the Mountain View fire burning northwest of Billings. Montana Department of Natural Resources and Conservation says tonight the 2,800-acre fire is 25% contained. Although the light rain didn't douse flames, it did allow firefighters to better identify hot spots. No homes are threatened tonight. Well, Billings and surrounding communities still picking up the pieces from two hailstorms that struck earlier this month. Homeowners and insurance companies are totaling up the damage. Q2 Zoe Zandora reports tonight on the numbers impacted and what's in store.
We're trying to get to the people that have the worst damage the first, and so blown windows and that type of thing.
According to State Farm Public Affairs Specialist Brody Hurtado, between the two storms, there were about 6,070 hail claims made in Montana.
Roofs being total loss or vehicles being total loss, windshields being out and that type of thing. Damage inside of the home because of the windows being blown out, and glass in the carpet and water and that type of thing.
These two storms doubling and almost tripling the amount of claims in Montana in 2018. Montana had 2,672 hail claims and ranked number 21 in the U.S. for hail damage. The first storm alone causing more claims in 2 days than all the claims in the entire state for 2018 combined.
According to the Home Builders Association in Billings, there were nearly 24,000 single-family homes located in the areas hit the hardest from the storms, mainly the Shepherd area and here in the Heights. Now, that association, since the storm, has been referring 10 homes a day to contractors.
The airport took damage. We took damage to our reservoirs and such in the Heights and some of the pump stations. The biggest trouble we had with both storms, but the first one was the catch basin inlets plugged with hail.
Solid Waste came by to pick up all of the bags of grass, leaves, and other debris. Extra work for extra crews who were called into support to help pick those bags up for folks because of how much there was from the storm.
With the first and second storm, we had to do some extra work on Saturday, brought crews in simply because there was so much. The trucks had to run to the landfill and dump more often. and it put us behind schedule.
Dave Mumford, the Public Works Director, says they don't have a total cost of damage done to the city yet, but he says the city is self-insured.
I look out the windows every afternoon and I see the skies turn and I just start praying. But the key thing is things are replaceable, people are not.
In Billings, Zoe Zandora, MTN News.
Thanks, Zoe. And Mumford says if you still have heavy debris or downed trees, you can call the city's solid waste department. And for $25, crews will haul away that debris. Well, turning to weather, Bob, it is a 3-day weekend for a lot of people, and we're hoping we're not going to be seeing hail.
I think we'll be okay. This is like the unofficial end to summer. But let me show you what our forecast is for the 3 days of this long weekend. And of course, you know what you do on Labor Day. You don't labor. That's what it is. You just got to have yourself a nice little picnic like this. Welcome to our Labor Day celebrations. Hope you'll join us. Now, take a look at this. Doesn't that look nice? Some chicken, maybe some corn on the cob, maybe even a hamburger. Well, here's what the forecast is going to be on Saturday. Mostly sunny, 89 degrees. It'll be 92 on Sunday. On Monday, 92 degrees as well. But we do have a slight 20% chance for some showers or thunderstorms moving in late in the day on Monday, because we usually do have some rain during that long holiday weekend. Only this time, this year, it's just going to be on the last day of the last few minutes of the day. Let's go back to Jeanelle.
All right, thanks so much, Bob. Well, thousands of people turned out in the streets of downtown Billings tonight to watch classic cars of all shapes and sizes burn the point. The tradition started in the 50s and 60s as local teenagers would drive their cars up and down 2nd and 3rd Avenues North. Now, one night every summer, gearheads and looky-loos get to watch hundreds of classic cars drive by. Now, this event is run by the Chase Hawks Memorial Association, a local nonprofit that helps families in crisis. Still to come on tonight's 10 o'clock news, with 2 Montanans now diagnosed with West Nile virus. Tonight, some tips to keep you and your family safe. And in sports, week 1 of your high school football season, Scott has action from AA to 6-man.
You're watching MTN News with Jeanelle Slade and Russ Riesinger. Storm Tracker weather with Bob McGuire. And sports with Scott Breen. This is the 10 o'clock news on Q2, Montana's news leader.